Now, moving to the western part of the continent in Nigeria, to be precise, a clash between, of course, the Nigerian police and not forgetting two members of banned Islamic movement in Nigeria, Shi'ites, had left one dead and several others injured over the weekend as of the time of this report when it was filed. Now, eyewitnesses say the clash occurred when the Shiites were on a procession to mark the annual Quds Day, usually marked with a procession on the last Friday of Ramadan to protest against Israeli occupation of Palestine.
Exactly, in the words of one eyewitness, the situation became violent when police operatives tried to stop the Shiites. They dispersed them and confusion ensued. It's also alleged that the operatives used tear gas on the Shiites. And this is a very interesting story because we're seeing how there is this happening, and people are saying the constitution provides for freedom of association and religion and expression, but on the other hand they're saying this group has been banned. So what stand of the divide are we on? Let's speak with our new Central Abuja Bureau Chief, Amadin Uyi. Good morning, Amadin. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
All right. Amadin, what do we know about the incident and the alleged killing of one and several injuries?
Now, the Shiite issue is a very, very difficult issue because it's been on for several years, it's been lingering, and it seems the government, as of today, does not have a template to manage this problem. Remember, the Shiites are a minority Islamic sect in Nigeria. Estimates say the number about 4 million and are spread across almost all states of the Federation, because the Shiite members in Lagos have held processions. So if we cannot say they are mainly domiciled in the north, but they've been having this running issue with the Nigerian government when their leader, Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, was detained. After several years, the court mandated that he be released. But this protest is not about El-Zakzaky, it's about their annual, or this procession is about their annual Quds Day march, which is held every year. Now, the problem is the Nigerian police and the Nigerian security operatives who are saddled with the responsibility of maintaining law and order to ensure there is public peace have not come up with a plan to be able to manage this group. And when you have a group whose philosophy, whose ideology is centered around martyrdom, you see there's a limit to what security operatives can do. I remember one of the justices that looked at the case between Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky and the federal government. He said that this particular issue should be handled as an alternate dispute resolution. They should use that mechanism, because if you resort to guns, you are resorting to guns to people who believe that that when they die for their faith, they go to heaven. So how many of them can you shoot? So what the Nigerian federal government should be able to sit down and say, okay, you are Nigerians, you have your fundamental rights. It's beyond banning your group. How do we manage it? When you want to have your Quds Day procession, how should it be managed so that you don't disrupt public peace? Because I bet you when you see this march, they number in thousands. They block major roads. It's hell for motorists. It's hell for business owners. So what we should do, we have the Federal Road Safety Corps, we have the State's Directorate of Traffic, whatever, management whatsoever. I think they should sit down with the leadership of the Shiites and, first of all, make them understand that, yes, we respect your fundamental rights as Nigerians, but your rights ends where another person's rights begins. So if you want to take your procession, you should go through these certain routes where there is not much traffic, so that you will not disrupt business activities of Nigerians that are going about their normal activities. It's unfortunate. Reports say one person has been killed. Reports say several vehicles in retaliation were burnt. Now, this property belongs to several people who compensates them. So it's something that we have to sit down as a country and look inwards, retrospect, and then bring out a Nigerian solution to this problem. It's not just about saying Shiites in other countries are troublemakers. It's saying we have Nigerians who are Shiites. How can we manage their situation?
All right, Amadin, you've gone as far as not just telling us what the situation was in Abuja, also proffering possible solutions that the government can actually tap in and make use of. But let's also look at this. I mean, these clashes are increasing from time to time, especially in the north. Now, what is the government looking to do, especially after what took place, I would say, a few hours ago, where we can see in that footage some of them were being beaten, they were throwing stones at the police officers. There was indeed pandemonium in the air and the likes. So what's the situation currently on ground first in Abuja? And has the government come out to make any statements concerning this?
Now, Joe, the problem with the Shiite problem is that it has been there with us. The government has, you see, I keep on talking about when you want to manage insecurity, you need to, because insecurity challenges metamorphose over time. They try to take a different coloration, and most of the time they take the personality of the leader. Now, remember, we are still battling with the Boko Haram insurgents. We have lost thousands of soldiers. We have lost property worth billions of naira. Now, do we want this Shiite problem to metamorphose into that same problem? The North is saddled with the problem of terrorism, insecurity, banditry, and all of them. Now, this Shiite is a growing problem. We are glad that after the release of their leader, Ibrahim el-Zakzaki, some of these protests reduced. At a point in time, it was every time they came out on the streets of Abuja, there was certainly going to be a problem. And the more you arrested them, the more you used bullets on them, they joyfully came out, because these are young people who, I don't want to use the word brainwashed, because it might be unfair to them. But these are young people who have been patterned after a certain set of ideology. Now, that's why I said we must look inwards. Government has not changed. And it baffles me that government has refused to change its approach in the last 5 to 6 years. Government has no solution to the Shiite problem apart from tear gas, guns, and arrests. And this has not worked. That is why we are saying that sometimes you have a rethink of your approach towards a certain problem. When you look at that problem, you do a postmortem and tell yourself that I have tried to use this method to tackle this problem. Okay, now look at the problem with terrorism. The new Chief of Defense Staff, General Leo Irabo, he has understood that I cannot tackle Boko Haram without engaging people. So if you observe, in the last, let's say 6 months, 6 to 9 months, his approach has been different. He has been going to community after community, meeting with traditional rulers, because he knows that these terrorists hibernate in these communities. They have informants. If he can get the buy-in of the public, it will be easy to crush terrorism. I expect the police to take that approach. Sit down with the leaders of this group. You know them. Our intelligence services know them. We know they do their annual cause day procession. There's another procession where they trek from Kano to Zaria and for whatever. You know they must do it. Sit down with their leaders, because you are protecting the rights and the interests of the public. Sit down with their leaders. Let's know your plan. You cannot do this. You cannot do this. We have the power to resort to bullets, but we don't want to. We want to respect your rights. That way, I think they will feel also wanted as Nigerians. And I think we can come to an agreement on how they can carry out their activities.
All right.
But definitely, bullets have not worked in the last 6 years. Arrest of these Shiite members have not worked in the last 6 years. So at this point in time, we need to bring out a new plan to manage this group.
All right. Thank you so much, our Abuja Chief Bureau, who's actually following the story there. Amadin Uyi, we appreciate your coming on Breakfast Central.
Thank you, Joe.